welcome back to my broke and retired video. The reason why I call this broke and retired, y'all, because I am retired, but I'm not broke. And I want to show you that you don't have to be broke in retirement either. There are so many things that we can do to make sure that we are all right in retirement. So y'all, I just want to, continue sharing my retirement journey with you. I read your comments, right? Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for commenting, because like I said, I need your help. Just like I'm sharing information with you, I want you all to share information with me or in the comments so that we can kind of help each other in this community, because none of us know it all. So I want to make sure that we're sharing with each other, like I'm helping you, you helping me type of thing, right? So what I want to talk about today, because I did notice in some of the comments, people are asking about a trust, because in one of my videos I said how I put my car and my house and things in a trust, right? So I'm gonna tell y'all how I did that. And another disclaimer, I am not a lawyer. I don't know nothing about law. I'm just telling you what I did, and it's working. So that's why I just want to share this with you. I do have a trust, so I'm going to kind of walk you through what I have and what I did to get my trust, right? So I did my trust in 2023. I retired in 2020, and I didn't do my trust until 2023. I don't know why it took me so long, because I guess I didn't see the importance of it until I really gave it some thought, or I don't know if someone told me. I don't really know how it clicked into my head, like, you need a trust, right? So I decided that, I wanted to put my car, especially my house, because I just purchased that house in 2020, and it's worth quite a bit, because a house is your biggest investment, right? So I thought that I should put that in a trust, so God forbid that if something happens to me, let me introduce myself. My name is Judy Hepburn. Just in case this is your first video that you're seeing me, my name is Judy Hepburn. I am 66 years old. Fabulous, right? And I will be 67 in August, next month actually, August. And I am super duper, smooper duper excited about another birthday. I can't say I've always felt like that. Sometimes as we get older, we feel like we're just getting old, right? But I'm aging gracefully, right? Because I only have two alternatives, y'all, and so do you. You either get older or you die. So I kind of want to get older, I guess, because that's the only choice that I have. Every day we wake up, we're another day older, right? So I'm just I have decided, made a conscious decision to embrace retirement, embrace aging, and that's what I would suggest that you do too. You know why? There's nothing you can do about it. So back to the trust. Y'all know I start talking, and I just start talking about everything, right? Because I want you to see that this is a real thing, y'all. Being in retirement and putting your stuff in a trust, I found out that it's super duper important. So what you're gonna have to do, a little homework though, before you really go out and get a trust, right? You're gonna have to research in your state a good estate planning attorney, estate ESTATE planning attorney. That's the kind of lawyer attorney that you're going to need in order to do your trust legally. This is how I did it. Okay, I think I even went on TikTok. See, this is why you got to be social media savvy even as we're aging, because I think I went on TikTok and I found this amazing attorney to do my trust, and I'm super glad that I did. And if you're interested, if you live in North Carolina, if you're interested, let me know and I can give you her name. I'm not sure if she's, I don't know, worldwide, or if you can use her no, you probably got to be in New York, North Carolina state, because I know that state to state trust is different. Laws are different in different states. So you got to stick to the state that you're in, I'm sure. Like I said before, disclaimer, I ain't no lawyer. I don't know nothing about the law. I'm just telling you what I did. So I went on TikTok and I put in estate attorneys in North Carolina, and boom, 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 boom. They showed up, and I just looked at the reviews, kind of picked a good one, and I am super duper excited that I picked the one that I have because she was really good. And actually, I've referred her to some family members too, and they're using her too. So make sure you kind of do your research on a good estate planning attorney before you reach out to anyone. But you can always ask around. Maybe some other family and friends has done a trust, but I know I hadn't heard a lot about family and friends in a trust. I don't think it was such a big thing back in the day because I didn't know much about it. So I want to do my retirement different than my parents did their retirement, or my mom did her retirement, because this is 2025, y'all. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. We have so much at our fingertips that we should know. Even though some things that our parents didn't know, your parents may not have had a trust. My parents didn't, neither one of them, right? Your parents may not have had a trust, but you need to have one, especially, listen to me, if you own a home, don't you want your children or whoever you want to designate, God forbid something happens to you, don't you want your house to go to who you want it to go to and not the state? Y'all, that would be horrible for you to work all of your life and something happens to you and your house that costs you, your house that's the biggest investment that you can ever make, right, is a house, real estate. And then for that to just go to anybody, like people you don't know, where they do that at? Not in my life, they don't, right? So invest in a state. I'm going to give you all the information that I can possibly give you about my own personal state. I want you to remember, I'm only telling you my story. I'm sure we all have stories, right? I'm telling you how I got my trust, my story, right? So your estate planning attorney will draft up your trust. They will draft and file your trust legally. I'm not sure if this is something that you can do online by yourself. I'm quite sure you probably can, but I hired an attorney because I want it to be legal and binding. I don't want to think it's legal and binding, then God forbid something happened to me, and then my kids have to go through probate and all that. That's one of the main reasons why I got a trust, because I don't want my children to have to go through probate, because I was told, the little research that I did on probate, it can take years and millions of dollars, like astronomical amounts of money for your children to get what's rightfully theirs, because once you're no longer here, you don't have a voice. Your voice is silenced. So that's why you need to get a trust, because I found out in my trust, I can say, I want X amount of monies to go to this child. I want to make sure this child has a job for 3 or 4 years, drug free, not doing dumb, crazy stuff, not in and out of jail. Like, you can really say exactly how you want things to be distributed in a trust, like down to the most minutest detail that will be of value to your family. Put it in a trust, right? Trust supersedes a will, and I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. But these are some more things that I put into a trust. My home, bank account, your investments, life insurance too, right? Your personal valuables. Like I said, you have something that you feel like is very valuable, make sure you're putting on that list to give to the lawyer when you're talking about doing a trust. Then you'll have to pick someone. This is the part that you really have to give some deep heart thought to. You have to pick a person that you trust and love with all your heart, soul, and mind, that that has your best interest at heart. This is going to be that one person that you say, I want to control any and everything if I'm not able to, right? You're going to be the trustee of your trust as long as you live, right? As long as you live. You're it. You're the trustee. But God forbid something happens to you, then the trustee has to be switched over to someone else. Who are you going to name as the person that's going to stand in for you if you're no longer here? Do you have children that you trust like that you would leave as trustee, that you know will do the right thing? Like if you have 1 or 2 children and you say, I know this one child right here that would do the right thing, right? Because like I remember when I had to kind of do this for my mom, she did not have a trust. Because my mom didn't have a whole lot of everything. If you don't own a home, this is how I feel about it. And the only reason why I did a trust is because I own almost a $500,000 house. I have a halfway decent car. I have insurance money from my job. Like I have stuff. I'm not a millionaire. Not yet. Working on it. But I do want to leave what I do have to my children. But if you're like renting an apartment, you don't have nothing in there that's worth a whole lot of anything. To me, if I was renting an apartment and riding around in some little car that really doesn't matter, I don't know that I would invest in a trust. I don't know. Some people, one lady asked me Sunday, she said, I don't have any children, so who would I leave all my stuff to? That's a good question. I don't know. I have children and grandchildren. That's a hard one. That's why I'm super glad that I decided in my earlier years to have children, because as you get older, your children protects you. They don't let nobody just do anything to you, right? Because your kids ain't gonna play that about you. Not about mama, not about daddy. Are you serious? But for those that don't have children, find a niece or a nephew or a cousin or an uncle or somebody, because it would be sad for everything that you own to go to the state because you didn't have anyone else or you didn't pick anyone else. If today you don't have anyone else that you feel like you want to leave stuff to, find someone. I don't care if it's a friend. Find someone that you love and trust that would deserve what you have. But if you live in an apartment, if you don't have any children, you don't even have anything to leave it to anybody, then I don't see the benefit of getting a trust. But it depends on how valuable you feel like the things that you have are. So you're gonna have to find someone, or if you don't care if the state takes everything you have, I care. Because the state doesn't deserve anything I got. They take enough from you now, right? Taxes, right? So you don't deserve anything after. Then you have to choose your beneficiaries. You know, that's something like, you know how when you go to take out life insurance, they ask you, who is your beneficiaries, right? Most of the time, our beneficiaries are our children. You always want to make your beneficiaries someone that's younger than you. I don't feel like you should make your beneficiaries your mama, your grandmother, your great-great. No, I feel you need to pick beneficiaries that are older, that are younger than you, that maybe possibly would outlive you, right? So don't pick Pookie if he's strung out on drugs and on his way out, right? Pick somebody that makes sense. Pick that child that you know and trust. Or your grandchildren, or whoever you want to be your beneficiaries. A beneficiary is so important in so many different ways. A beneficiary is important on your life insurance and definitely important in your trust, because you're going to have to put your life insurance into the trust. So if the life insurance is in the trust, so is the beneficiaries. You know, it kind of works all together, right? And I want y'all to remember, this is only my story, how I did my trust. I am not an attorney, y'all. I had to hire one. Let me tell y'all, I did my trust in 2023. And I'm sure things change from year to year and from state to state. So make sure you are finding out. But you know what, to me, you don't have to find out a whole lot of this. Just hire an attorney. That's why you're going to pay an attorney. I'm just giving y'all some information that you don't even really need to know. The main thing you need to know is, what attorney do you want to use? Because the attorney, you're going to pay them to do all of this work, but I'm just giving you like a breakdown of what I did, what is inside my trust. So get you a good estate planning attorney, and they will do all of this for you. Their job will be to make sure that everything that you write down that you want in your trust is put in your trust. Now, I paid in 2023 for the kind of trust that I have. I paid $2,697. That was a flat fee for my attorney, right? And then I had to pay $250 for the deed to my house. Because you know, when you purchase your house, when I purchased my house, my name was the only name on the deed, right? So when I decided to get the trust, I had to add the trust to my deed, if that makes sense. Because now my house is no longer in my name. My house is in the trust's name. Like, I got some mail one day, about my house, and it had the trust name on it. And I was like, oh, so this house don't belong to me, right? Right? So the house is really in the trust's name. Because like I said in one of my other videos, if you just happen to have to get on Medicaid, that's the Department of Social Service, Medicaid. If you ever have to get on Medicaid and your house is in the trust, they can't touch it. Can't touch this, can't touch this, boom, 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 boom. So there are so many benefits to having your stuff, especially a house that you're going to pay $500,000 for. It's important that you put it in a trust, right? So I had to pay another $250 to switch the deed over from my name to the trust's name. Oh, and you're going to have to come up with a name for your trust. Like, you can name your trust anything you feel like naming it. Like, it can't be your name though. Like, let's say you want to name it I love pickles, or just I love Popeye, or you can name your trust whatever you name it. Let's say if you name your trust Popeye, right? So it would be Popeye Trust. Let me see, what does mine say? Popeye Trust, or Trust Popeye, something like that. So you get to pick the name of your trust, but it just can't be your name. Because guess what? That wouldn't make sense. So I'm going to estimate about $2,947 total for my trust, and to put my assets into my trust. So let's say you end up paying $3,000 for a trust. Isn't your family worth that? Isn't $3,000 worth your family not having to? First of all, they would be grieving your loss, right? They would be devastated, right? But on top of grieving and being devastated, do you want your family to have to worry about all the other stuff? Y'all, I have seen it often, that when people die, families fight over the craziest, the most ridiculous things. Mama said I'm supposed to get this shoe. No, mama said I get this blouse. Mama said I get the car. And then now half the family not. My state attorney told me this. She said she see this so often. Families fighting over personal items that mama or daddy had, because mama said I can have this, mama said I can have that. But if you put this in a trust, it supersedes anything that you said mama said. Who said mama really said it? You could be saying it on your own. I know when my mom died, I ain't going to talk about that. But listen, you don't want your family and your children fighting over things when you can just make the decision for them and put it in a trust, right? So that, especially if you have a whole heap of sack of children, you better put this stuff in a trust, because them kids gonna fight. I don't care how good you think your kids are. I don't care how much they tell you, oh no, mom, we wouldn't fight. They gonna fight. Yeah, they look at me. They're gonna fight. Okay? So make sure you make, make sure you put this thing in a trust to stop your kids from arguing and fighting. I want my children to always get along with each other. I never want money and possessions to be a reason why my children fight. So I put it in a trust. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all the things that my trust has inside of it. Like what my trust includes. I have the HIPAA release in my packet in my trust. I also have a durable power of attorney. What is a durable power of attorney? That is the person that's going to handle the money part. Who do you want to handle the money part if something happened to you? You better pick that kid that knows how to handle money. Because if your child don't know how to handle money now, and they're giving a whole heap of sack of money, like your insurance money, money from the sale of your house and things like that. If Pookie is bad on money now, Pookie ain't gonna be no better with your money. It's gonna be easier to blow your money if they blowing their money now. So make sure you're picking somebody that's great with handling their money now to be your durable power of attorney. That person is going to handle all of your finances. Boo, if you drop dead, those bills that you still owe, they gonna want their money. They gonna still want their money. How do I know this? When my mom passed away, I was it. Tag you're it, I was it. Girl, listen, I was getting phone calls of people that, oh, your mom still have this bill. Your mom still have that bill. I'm like, but she dead. They don't care. You can be dead, but they still want their money. Y'all, I had to pay them people. Because I'm integral, right? I had to pay those people. Make sure y'all keep your bills paid. Because them people still, it's so sad, right? You would think, oh, my mom passed away. They don't care. They don't care. They want their money. But I guess that kind of makes sense, right? Anyway, so make sure you're picking the right person to handle your finances. And then mine has a health care proxy, y'all. Your health care is very, 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 very important. Make sure you having somebody over you that's not going to pull the plug the next day. Make sure you got somebody that won't pull the plug on you the next day. What if it takes me 7 days to recoup and you don't pull the plug the next day? Baby, you better pick somebody that care. If you have a nurse or a doctor in your family, I'm not sure about, I'm not. Okay, just pick somebody you trust and that loves you and has your best interest at heart to be your health care proxy. I pick my children because I know for a fact that they would do what's best for me. Both of them. I know for my grandchildren are way too young to kind of figure them out yet. So my children are old enough for me to know that they have my best interest at heart. So if you and your children have that type of relationship and you know you can trust them, if you land somewhere like this, they're going to do what's best for you, right? Because you know we would do what's best for our children. So if you can trust them kids, pick them as your healthcare proxy. And then inside the trust is a will, right? Your will. What do you want in your will? Put it in there. Because once you put it in the will, then it's going to be inside the trust. Like everything, I'm trying to explain it. Like, say this is the trust, right? Say this is the trust. And you're putting everything else into the trust, right? And once you put everything into the trust, then it's binding. It's legal. Everything that you put into there is in there and it's binding. I hope I'm explaining this so that everyone can understand it, because a trust is so super duper smooper important, especially if you have things that are worth anything. And then I have the advanced healthcare directive. That's a lot like the healthcare proxy, right? The directive is, God forbid something happens to you and you're in the hospital and you can no longer speak or whatever. Who's going to give directions on what happens with you? I would pick that same I would pick that same healthcare proxy, because how many people in our life can do all of these, like have different people to do all of these roles? There's a lot of roles, y'all, to have to put into this trust. Who do you want to do this? Who do you want to do that? Who do you want to do this? I pretty much use the same couple, two or three people to kind of take over, because those are the people I trust. Because when I become this millionaire that I'm working towards, I want my children to be able to handle it. And I believe my children can, because they're pretty good with their own money now. So I feel like they can take great care of mine. But I done told my kids, y'all playing. My plan is not to leave behind a whole heap of sack of money. I'm going to enjoy my money right now. I love to travel. I want to travel with my money. I feel like what the Bible says, a good parent leaves an inheritance for his children. I do plan on leaving them insurance money and stuff, but my own personal money, y'all, baby, I plan on spending 99.9% of that, because it's mine, right? My kids got their own money. So make sure you have those family members that you would trust just like that. And then inside my trust is a memorial instructions. Y'all, I ain't really fill that out. You know why? Because I feel like this. Memorial instruction is like funeral arrangements and stuff like that. I can't comprehend that. I cannot. Maybe you can. I just cannot comprehend making those arrangements my own. I just can't. If you can do that, I like that for you, but I just can't. I told my children, I want y'all to do whatever makes you feel better. Like, cause I believe in cremation. I 1000% I believe in it, because I think it's morbid for me to have to sit there and watch this person that I love to the extreme laying prostrate in a casket, and it hurts me more, right? So I told my children, if that's not something that y'all want to do, don't do it. No matter what auntie, uncle, niece, nephew, cousin, I don't care. My children, whatever they say and whatever can make them live life, to continue life, that's what I want them to do. So I did not make any memorial arrangements. I ain't doing it. I'm focusing too much on living. I can't do it. So I'm gonna leave that up to them. I said, if cremating me makes you feel better, do it. If not cremating me makes you feel better, do whatever makes you feel better. I want y'all to feel better. That's it. So that's another thing that's inside the trust. But it does vary from state to state. I'm talking about the state that I live in, right? So you make sure you're doing your research on the state that you live in. After I found the attorney that I wanted, one of the first things I had to do was fill out a questionnaire, right? And the questionnaire just gave her the basic information about what I want in my trust. It just asked for my name, my address, my phone number, my bank information, my life insurance, my children's names and ages, and like basic information was on the questionnaire just to get her started, right? That was the first thing that I did, was filled out and actually 99% of these things that I had to do with the attorney, I don't know if it was, but it was after COVID. So it was on the computer. Like, it's not like I had to run back and forth to the attorney's office. No. I did a lot of this right on the computer. My attorney has a portal where I can go into the portal. She gave me a password, a username and a password to log into this portal, and everything that has to do with my trust is inside the portal. So it just makes it so much easier. Like, that was in 2023. I just looked in the portal again the last couple days. I still have access to the portal. I can always go inside the portal and look up anything regarding my trust. So you want to make sure that the lawyer that you hire, that you pay this money to, like I paid almost $3,000, and to me that sounds pretty reasonable, right? Because they do a lot of paperwork. Make sure they have a portal where you can go back and see your information, not just talking to the lawyer on the phone or reading an email or something. You want to make sure you have a portal where you can go in there at any time and access your information. Plus, with my lawyer, she gave me this big huge binder, which has all of my paperwork in it, right? So make sure that you're getting copies of all of the paperwork that your lawyer put together, that you have a binder or something with all your trust stuff in it, y'all. This trust is so important. You may not see the importance of it now. Trust me and believe me, you will be glad you did this. A trust will give you a peace of mind, okay? So if you enjoyed this information, if this information was informational, make sure you share this with your family and friends. They don't have to be retired. They don't have to be seniors. They can be 20, 30, 40, 50. This is for all ages, y'all, because it's super important to put your things in the right place so that if something happens to you, they will go to where you want them to go. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for sharing this video with your family and friends. And I guarantee you, if you share this video with your family and friends, they will subscribe. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.